You will not find anyone from the 60s who will admit what the 60s were doing. Um, you ever notice that when you get a profile of Biden, he looks like Billy Graham? That's conscious because his genocidal program comes from the Graham Reagan Vietnam machine. I was up in Mount Desert Island following Wilzel Brom, who was a Green Party advocate of Joseph Goebbels working at the Jackson Immunogenetic Laboratories in mouse cage assembler. And he had been talking about a scheme to transform the human race by injecting the blood before AIDS started. And was now an attaché of the Gurdjieff Society. He was a friend of Walter Hodaruski, who Fripp introduced me to. When Penis Gabriel sent me brochures of his hometown, Bath, the label peeled up and it said Archer Management. He was living with John Archer in North White or Goldsboro, Maine. So Archer had a dog named Duderack who he'd kick out and knock cow hooves because they said that's the way he'd keep him from biting anybody. So they had it all mystiqued. One time I was reading Winston Churchill, and just as I came to a part about a drummer boy, Archer came in wearing a drummer on his neck with two drumsticks. So they were clocking my psychology, my psychic existence. And John Stockwell had followed me to Allentown when I was working with Walter Hodaruski at 5050 Tillman Plaza. This had an anecdote about the ecology movement because Jim Hagerman gave me a ride home and said it's widely believed in the Pentagon that the Earth just isn't going to make it. And I said, why don't you do something more constructive to try to make the situation more sustainable? He said, who cares? I've lived a good life. Hodaruski was again the man Fripp introduced me to. And Stockwell followed me there right after Penny, who was namesake of a woman who was writing to me from Penis Gabriel's headquarters. She comes up to me and says, oh, I just got here from England. The mathematician at Lehigh University. She tells me about the day the Earth stood still, and an architect named Le Corbusier, who did wallflower sorts of things. And she got me a book in a place called The Dinosaur that Kirshner. It was, oh, what a book, what a book. Anyway, she tells me about the day the Earth stood still, and the following day, Wall Street crashes while I'm thinking about the day the Earth stood still. And the following day is my birthday. John Stockwell shows up and underlines the date. He ends up at this Mount Desert Island place where Caspar Weinberger lived and where Will Zell was. And they say, oh, a Goebbels expert is advocating for the Jewish Defense League and the NAACP. What they have is a feminazi crowd, they said, back in Pittsburgh. The feminist doctrine is that a woman who says that she was raped was. That's the bottom line. Well, nobody ever said they were raped because they weren't, and they knew it, and they admitted it. So what did they do? They created a rumor. Everybody believes the rumor that McCrary is hiding something about rape. And then they trotted out these girls who one of them had an IUD when she came on to me from an NAACP choir teacher when we tried to get away from that gang, East Liberty. She was older than me. And she was with the mentality of Gail Burst. And, oh, you're going to be so famous. Oh, you are so great. And she comes on to me and she chases me up a tree because I didn't want to strip for her. She was sleeping with everybody. They say, oh, we will compromise you with her testimony. You will be degraded. Bronstein will snivel and slur you. And these people turned out to be working for Paul McCartney. On Mount Desert Island, there was a church for the deaf. And I went to them. She said real fast, "If you die right now, would you believe you come to heaven?" Question. Well, come on, answer me. If you die right now, would you believe you would go to heaven? And they had a fellow church in Guyana. This Guyana church wills out scheme to transform the human race by injecting blood. Gurdjieff Society was in Germany during the occupation, Vichy. Gurdjieff came from Stalin through Hitler. He was a magician. And he was Bowie's guitarist, Fred from King Crimson, was like this. He introduced me to this crowd. I got introduced to this crowd through the Gurdjieff grapevine. Hodoruski and Zell. Hodoruski was the Fred headquarters. So what they did was the fundamentalists who were in the oil machine, they're like, oh, oil. James Watt was like, why shouldn't we rape the Interior? He was Secretary of Interior for that Hitler Reagan. Why shouldn't we rape the Interior? Because it will bring Christ right coming back. Or something like this, right? And it was all in the newspapers that he was on this way. And they're like, well, what we'll do is we'll have a little Jimmy and he'll get an abortion. And we'll get Greta Thunberg uploaded with Barack Obama. And she'll say, you're rejected because you've had enough of your sissy by creep show with crying about girls who kick you in the face at the pillow, kick you in the head at the pillow. And so they have the moral Christians come, post-apocalypse morals. We're the moral ones. We get to inherit the earth. And they went along with the AIDS attack, and they're like, you owe us reparations for the Green Party. They murdered my father, and they're like, you had an abortion.